speaking of back, Keely, Eure is back. Our football roundtable, switching chairs. You're back in this one next week, so just enjoy that fourth seat for a little while now. Our football roundtable.
She takes a pay cut when she goes down there. This is where the big money's at.
It's hardly true. You guys are going to have plenty to talk about next week. I'm jealous to be missing that show.
You're in the Bahamas. Calm down.
This is the game we've all been waiting for, guys. I mean, this is it. Enough of the Colorados and the Cals and style points and all that other nonsense. This is, hey, we win by 1, win by 50, doesn't matter. This is the big one.
Yeah, it was a long wait. Those 3 games there were tough. I'm imagining they were tough for some of the players here. The way we came out against Colorado on offense didn't look too strong, but found a way to still put 53 up in 3 quarters or 55 up in 3 quarters or whatever it was. So it's been a wait, and I know these players are got to be excited. You could tell that Lincoln is excited. I found myself torn on Saturday with the game watching UCLA. I was like, I didn't know how to feel. Do I want to win? I know I don't want them to win, but maybe they should win. I was really torn.
Does game day happen if they do win? UCLA.
I wanted them to win.
You did.
Oh yeah, 100%. Can you
imagine? Our game is bigger.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would have been.
But you liked it a little bit that they lost.
And Delora, I'm like a Delora fan club guy over here.
Okay.
So.
You have been talking up Arizona's offense.
We haven't played them for 3 weeks.
I can see everyone's like, "Oh, Max, here we go." Early on in the season, no, they're legit. They showed last week, and I'll have them this weekend, so that'll be great too. But this is SC. It still has so much to play for, and UCLA still has an elite offense themselves. It's all going to come down to defense and who can string together some stops.
You think they're ready, Keely?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, so far this team, we haven't seen them kind of lay an egg against a opponent that they're hyped up for, if you will. You know, so I think that this team's ready, and we'll see. I mean, Eric Gentry was walking around. He looked pretty good. I mean, he was trolling you guys on the set 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's been in a very good mood pregame, so he's already bad. He certainly doesn't seem like it.
And then, like Lincoln just said, Jordan Addison coming back. Mario Williams, he did suit up. Thought he was going to be ready to go, but it was one of those things where he'd do a rep and kind of look down at his legs, and that's kind of when you know the guys are a little on the edge of not coming back yet.
Speaking of that UCLA game, do you think that they just overlooked Arizona, or did Arizona expose something that did Lincoln Riley and UCLA be licking their chops about?
Maybe that the UCLA offense, isn't invincible. I think there were stretches there in the season where we thought, like, oh, how are you going to ever stop these guys? And I think Jake Bobo's a good receiver, but it's a UCLA offense that does not have the tight end presence that they've had in years past. I think the weapons.
Dulcich killed you.
Exactly. And even Caleb Williams, former Trojan as well there. They had some years there where Chip was really utilizing those guys. It's a new look offense in that regard. Don't get me wrong, Charbonnet is still legit, but I think if the USC defense comes to play and you have the right presser packages, I think you can make some plays here.
Yeah, I think defensively, if we can come up with the game plan where we had in the start of the year with causing turnovers, creating those things, Thule creating one, an interception, I think that's kind of where we find our separation with UCLA, that we have those defensive playmakers. I think UCLA lacks kind of those defensive playmakers. They don't seem to have those big play sparks on there, and that's something I think the Trojans, the defense is that kind of that's kind of their calling card this year, is those kind of playmakers. Not a great defense by any stat kind of imaginable, but able to make plays when they need it, and Thule's kind of been that guy.
I'm just curious if Chip comes out of that game being like, you know what, we need to use Charbonnet more, because I feel like that's something that I saw against Arizona. I'm like, why are you not using him more? And the fact that USC has struggled stopping the run, I feel like that's the key. You just use him.
They've kind of kept him on like a load management thing all season. He's sat out a couple games. Now, for all we know, he's hurt. I mean, like the way we are now, you don't really get a lot of injury information.
He is, yeah. He's banged up. He was questionable going into last week's game, so I'm sure it was some sort of similar to how we're at in terms of pitch count and star players being managed a little bit.
Well, USC is going to be completely without its best running back. How big of a loss do you think it is to go into this one without Travis Dye?
I mean, it's huge in so many ways, but I think just because he was that glue guy, I mean, it's shocking to think that he wasn't a captain, but
it's funny to think about.
And you mentioned it, Jordan, but the fact that he's endeared himself to USC fans in the months that he's been here is just incredible. And I think if you lose that type of guy who's just always rooting guys on, but also playing hard every single down, it just takes a little bit out of you. But you can use it it as a motivation
Yeah,
factor,
that's
play for Travis type of thing. So we'll see which way it goes.
That's what I was gonna say. In a weird way, it can almost kind of, you saw it how it turned on some guys like Austin Jones. It may have been one of his better games in a while. You saw how Darwin Barlow was running. Releek. I mean, it kind of, in some weird way, it kind of make guys, hey man, let's do it for our guy. Let's show him what we got. Hey, I've been waiting for this opportunity. It's kind of one of those things I think that you can use it to your advantage sometimes.
And maybe if Gentry's back, there's a similar impact of if he's on the field and guys are looking around like, all right, we got our middle linebacker back, and everyone's play rises and because of a comfort level and maybe of hey, he's going to make the play, so I know I can just do my job and stay in my lane. Maybe there's a ripple effect there too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch warm-ups on Saturday, see who finally is out there, because we've been talking about this really since the Utah game. Hey, this is the date to get back by. Can they make it back? Addison looked, sort of close. He came back a little bit last week, but we'll keep an eye on Gentry and Mario Williams, obviously, throughout the week, but really Saturday, tune into our Trojan Tailgate show, and you can get all the updates.
I'm excited.
Over-under 39.5 points for USC to win this game on Saturday.
Over. This is going to be an absolute shootout. Over.
You're so giddy over here.
I should let everyone
I'm an
else
offensive
answer,
guy here.
Don't you feel like sometimes when everyone thinks it's going to be a shootout, that's when it's not?
Oregon State.
Yep.
Yeah. The Bruins offense versus the Beavs offense, a little different dynamic.
That's for sure.
I'm going over.
Seems like a low number, kind of.
39.5?
Yeah, a little low for me.
They average. I think USC average is right at.
I would have
40.
been at 42. I would have felt. I could have stayed under for 42, but I got to go over 39.
No, then it's an easy over for you.
Yeah, it's easy over. That's what I'm saying.
It only
It's
took
an
week
easy over.
11, but he got it.
It's an easy over, but I'm saying your line was. I didn't like your line.
You wanted more stakes.
You didn't. You're not challenging us with that line. That's not a challenging line. That's just like you guys here. Take the over.
I want to have this conversation again on Saturday.
Okay.
Because
You're taking the under?
No, I'm just watch it happen, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, whoops, they won 31-28."
Yeah, it's revisionist history. It's
Keely,
great.
before we wrap, you actually have to pick here.
Okay, I'm
Shaun
going to
just took up all
say
the airtime with that criticism.
over, but I feel like it's going to be weird, and I'm going to say under. I don't know.
I think it's going to be a lower scoring. I don't think both teams will be in the 40s. I think either one team is going to be clearly better, or it's going to be cagier than you think. More field goals, maybe some more turnovers, a lot of nerves early on.
Trickeration.
Like that Oregon, as good as Oregon-Washington was, that first half was filled with mistakes and nerves in that rivalry.
It's whatever Caleb Williams you get on Saturday.
All right, well,
Trojans
Keely will
win.
be back to host Trojans Live next week with these two guys as I head on a basketball trip. But thanks to everyone involved. Have a great time on Saturday, guys. Our kick is at 5 o'clock. We'll be on at 3.